Now I understand that you have an artist album coming out soon.
Yes.
Also, did you work with Donald on that, or is it more solo project?
Donald and I have a new track coming out called Stick'em. That's going to be on my label in stereo, but that's not on my artist album. That's
Okay.
just a separate track. One of the first tracks that is done now for the artist album is called Baby Wants to Ride, which I played today. Which
Right.
it's definitely, I think, well, we'll see how the rest of the album comes out, but it's a strong record, really
Yeah.
strong track. So
And how long have you been working on it, the album?
conceptually for over a year.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's interesting. I've taken a lot of time and spent on working on my label, which has been great, but right now the main focus is for the artist album. So
Yeah.
we've got about 5 or 6 tracks in the works right now at once. So I think things are going to speed up here
Yeah.
soon. So.
All right. So, and Pro Tools is your preferred software?
Yeah. I work with Dave all day. If I work with Dave, I use Pro Tools. If I work with Hippie, it's Logic. So,
Yeah.
you know.
All right. So tell us about how when you started producing, maybe in the early '90s or something like that. You've
Yeah.
been doing it for a while. So how's your production method evolved? Like, when did you first go to software? And
I mean, I've always worked with. I mean, Dave Audet has been my main engineer, and what I do is I get everything together at home. I sample everything, get everything, make sure everything's in the right key, and give it to Dave. We basically call it the machine, put it in the machine, and go, okay, how are we gonna develop this track? It's much nicer that way, I think, because it kind of gives a second opinion.
yeah.
You know, I think personally, like, I make a lot less. I used to bring in a lot of samples. Now I'm using less samples.
Right.
I used to be so sample based, but obviously the way technology is now, you don't really need to. I mean, there's so many great sounds that you can create. So usually what I do, I always sample drum beats because I just love the crispness of the beats, and then from there we just kind of build the track.
And
So
do you have your own studio where you can do most of what you need to do? Or?
yeah, I have my own Pro Tools setup at home, but I usually go to Dave's to finish everything.
Okay.
And then we have a mixdown engineer as well.